So let's look at the metrics. Can I feed this thing? How is it around guests? Can it murder my enemies? Now, will it activate my noise autism? I doubt it. I think he like stares cuntily. I will not be getting pregnant because of the bird plink, and I curse you for making me say that sentence. What's up, D-Man? We're doing an adoptability tier list from BloomBurrow to make up for the fact that I cannot say whether or not anything in BloomBurrow can get it. So we've covered the necessity. If I say that I'm barking like a dog for Teysa Karlov, everybody is clapping. If I say anything remotely sexual about the grass goat, I'm getting hauled off into prison. And I should. So the labels we have adopted, cloned upon death. This is an important one. For those of you who don't know, there is a service that for like $50,000 will take a DNA sample of your pet and create a genetic clone of it that you can purchase after it dies. I looked into this for a previous dog because I loved him very, very much. So adopted, cloned upon death is the highest tier because that is we took them in and then we stole a little bit of hair such that when they died, because most animals have a crazy short lifespan, we got to adopt them again. The tier below that is separate wing of the house. Now this is kind of like the exhibitionist rule in the sense that it's not an animal we can handle being around a lot of the time. Either they're too violent or they just have something freaky going on, but we do want to have them as a like potential attraction. Like either they can do a funny circus routine that's sort of like the ocelot from Archer, if anybody's familiar with that. It's some type of cool exotic animal that we just can't handle up in our business. Then we have treats on demand. This is a very normal tier, how most people treat their pets. Then we have taught manners. This is the first negative tier. I know most of you are teaching your pets manners just by being good pet owners. Now me, when I have a pet, as soon as I fall in love with that sweet little animal, there are no more rules. It's sleeping on the bed, it's climbing on the couch, it's jumping up and like climbing on guests. I have negative self-control when it comes to disciplining animals because I think they're just so sweet and cute. All I want to do is give them treats and call them good little boys or girls and give them scritches. So top manners is the first like adopted under duress. And then there's get this thing away from me for stuff that for whatever reason I legitimately do not want to adopt. And then I had a Scryfall syntax set up so that we could look at the actual cards because we are going to be taking into account what their abilities are. We're going to use their abilities as a proxy for how they would act as a pet. So there's not all 59 because we're not doing things that got reprinted like Arasta or Baird. We're just only doing things that are fresh out of BloomBurrow. So let's look at the metrics. And this is where chat can sound off if you guys think you have a good metric. I think the first one is going to be, can I feed this thing? How does it react to being pet? Is it going to shit on my floor? How much does it shit? How is it around guests? Can it murder my enemies? I'm going to say how easy is it to clean / does it smell bad are kind of the same thing. Is it safe to have a white woman in the vicinity? Do I have to be on top of its reproductive cycle? I think that's also an important one. So I think, okay, this is looking pretty full. So from here, we're going to move into the tier list. We're not going to answer every single one of these questions for every animal, but we'll answer them for the ones where it's relevant. Finneas Ace Archer, 2/2 rabbit, vigilance and reach. So I'm going to interpret that as he's staying up all night and he's getting into the counters. He also has a literal fucking bow. So whenever he attacks, put a 1/1 counter on each other creature you control that's a token or a rabbit. Then if creatures you control have total power 10 or greater, draw a card. So he is going to begin an exercise regimen for every other pet in the neighborhood and then begin taking my shit as he stays up all night and gets into my cupboards. Now, points for him. He can absolutely murder my enemies. How is it around guests? He's probably making them do Pilates. How easy is it to clean? I feel like if he doesn't want to be clean, he's not getting clean because he will fucking shoot me. Will it activate my noise autism? No. As an archer, I'm going to assume he's stealthy. Do I have to be on top of him when he's reproducing? Yes. He very much wants rabbit tokens. He wants to make little buff children and he wants to draw cards about it. it. Can I feed him safely? Probably. How does he react to being pet? He's probably weird about it, considering this is about as close as we're getting to just a rabbit dude in the set. This guy is like, as for all the animals in the set, this is the most just a guy animal. So very loyal. I think this would be taunt manners. Like, I think this is under duress. He's definitely worth having around, and he's really cute, but like, I would have to be on guard at all moments. He would be a good workout buddy. He could kill my enemies, but I could never let this thing fuck. And if we ever had any disagreement, he would just shoot me. So next we have Gev, Scaled Scorch. A small lizard with on-fire knives. Whenever he sees another lizard, he crashes out. So that's immediately, how is it around guests? Fine, as long as none of the other guests are a lizard. Other creatures you control enter with an additional +1/+1 counter on them for each opponent who lost life this turn. That's very gang. Ward, I'm going to say doesn't apply to me. I'm going to say that applies to guests, so he's terrible around guests. He's going to bite you, and then gang. Like, Ward is for ops. Ward is not for friendly spells, and so I think he would be fine if I pet him. I think I could feed him safely. He's definitely going to shit on my floor, but he's also a very tiny lizard, and so it's not going to be very much, which ameliorates that. How is it around guests? Terrible. Can it murder my enemies? Absolutely. I would have to worry about him reproducing, but he deals damage to opponents as he reproduces, so like, worst case scenario, I just get an army of lizard goons to kill all my foes. I think we're keeping Gev forever. I think we're getting Gev, and then Gev the 2nd, and then Gev the 3rd, all the way to like Gev the 18th. Then we have Kitsa, Otterball Elite. All right, Magical Otter, Vigilance, so it's not sleeping. Prowess, I'm going to say prowess is the keyword that means gets the zoomies. So we have an animal that does not sleep, gets the zoomies, likes to take game actions, currently underwater. I've never smelled wet otter. I have smelled enough wet dog for one lifetime. So this is looking pretty grim for Kitsa, because we have smells bad, is going to keep me up at night, is going to crash out randomly throughout the day, and is going to dig through my trash. It is magic, but will it use that magic in ways that will help me? Otters have a strong, pungent odor. I hate that you know that, Vic. Loves throwing things around. True. The tiers are going to be ordered, so we're going to put it below Finneas. We're going to put it below Finneas in terms of under duress. We will take this. Then we have Baylen. All right, so Baylen, absolutely capable of murdering my enemies. The fact that he's named the Haymaker, I don't really trust his manners. I think if I tried to pet him, like if we've had Finneas who was just a dude, Baylen is just a really angry dude. I also think Baylen is too used to being in charge. I think Finneas, for example, Finneas could be a team player. Gev is ready to be part of a hierarchy. Baylen is used to being in charge. Baylen's used to being the authority figure and calling the shots. And he is fucking uncontrollably. Baylen is reproducing at light speed, and then he's gonna headbutt me. I think Baylen is easily our first, nope, never. Get him away. This man is just a roid rager. All right, then we have Bello, Bard of the Brambles. Okay, little trash panda, but he's in a very, very cute outfit. So he's going to animate my belongings. So he's going to be bringing all of my shit to life, which is honestly like such a big point against him, because he's so cute and he's so precious, and all I want to do is give him treats, but also like I'm gonna wake up in the middle of the night and my computer's gonna have been brought to life and is gonna be kicking my dishwasher to shit. Off rip, I'm gonna say yes, because holy fuck, this outfit is so cute. But this is separate wing of the house. This is for sure like my TV. I'm gonna wake up and my TV and my computer are gonna be beating a neighbor to death. All my appliances are going to be breaking out of my home to commit random acts of street violence. So yeah, he gets sequestered, but we take him. Oh, drawing cards is equivalent to when cats bring you back dead rats and birds. So even better, Bello's going to animate my computer, it's going to break out of my home, beat a neighbor to death, and then bring me back the body of their dead child? Yeah, for sure we're putting him in his own wing. I cannot be legally affiliated with this animal. I hope you're all enjoying the video. I'm going to take a moment now to thank some of the highest tier Patreon supporters who have made my terrible content possible. So may Yugi bless Badger King, Adam S, Solar Movie, Wolf Slicks 167, Biggest Dickus, Sussedin, Ico, Kyle, Jess HW, A-Dog 2064, Christian B, Crimson Viper, Ryan A, Otterfire, Bolus Brigade, Dad Out for Milk, I really should have done this top down, Derek H, Zelenor, Kyler P, Believe, Alarin, Zach G, Derek H, potentially again, Talamar Von Geist, Bo, Silky Wilkie, Bradley T, Bobby Joe Lord, Phelan, Troper, and also Otterfire, Zelenor, and Ryan A, because I really should have read this top down. And Beefcake. Thank you all very much, and enjoy the rest of the video. Now, points for Camellia. She is fucking serving. Menace, I'm going to say, is like, that's them being a handful. I think that correlates well to them requiring multiple blockers, is like, if they have Menace, they are a difficult pet to control, you know? You don't have enough hands to keep track of what they're doing. Other squirrels have Menace. Whenever you sacrifice one or more foods, make a 1/1 green squirrel creature token. I think that's sinking her, guys, because I think that is, she has asexual reproduction. In terms of, do I need to be worried about the reproductive cycle? This motherfucker is eating a biscuit and making a new squirrel that I also can't take care of. This is like self-propagating squirrel black hole. That's like getting a gremlin wet. Yeah, this is a gremlin after midnight situation. I think there's two options for Camellia. It's either get this thing away from me, or I buy a farm upstate that is just the Camellia zone, and I drive by it whenever I want to show people Camellia, but she is just bringing about the squirrel apocalypse the whole time. I think if they have to be in the same house as me, Camellia's a get this thing away from me. This is the one where, like, I just can't handle it. She may want to live with me. I think she looks raw as fuck, but the fact that she's capable of asexual reproduction just by eating, I don't have the space for that. Rent's expensive. Okay, so he's a frog. He's throwing a ton of water around and does not sleep, which is rude as shit. Whenever he enters, return up to one target creature you control to its owner's hand. Frogs have mana. So I'm going to take this as like, he really loves playing with other frogs. I think he's fine around guests because this is a May. I think he really wants to play with other people's pets. Yeah, he's a social frog that doesn't sleep. Must have a gang for social purposes. I think he's cute. I don't think frogs smell bad, right? I haven't smelled many frogs, but I've been to like a couple zoos and shit. I think Clement just gets up to 1 as a May, yeah. So like if I could trust him to be respectful with this ability, then I think we're fine. Then we have Flubs. If you need to consider this at all, I'm gonna ban you. You don't even have to feed Flubs because he's like gone most of the year, I feel like. Like bro is just straight hanging. So he's immediately getting adopted and cloned. Why is this frog staring sexually? Oh, of course, it's because it's the fucking Sultai frog, and every Sultai card is slutty, regardless of whether or not it has genitalia. Death Touch. So I'm going to say, at best, we're going to separate wing of the house. If I that's just 1 for 1. If I touch this thing, he fucking kills me. So look at the top card of your library. I'm assuming the Surveil is like, he's just throwing shit into my trash. He is known as his moistness. Now, because Death Touch, can it murder my enemies? Absolutely. Now, will it activate my noise autism? I doubt it. I think he like stares cuntily rather than making a lot of noise. Surveil does imply, like the play lands from the top of the library and Surveil implies to me, bro is plotting. Bro is up to something 100% of the time. Which I think puts him in separate wing of the house. Like, I need to keep him at arm's length. I'm not going to be able to control him in top manners. He will just kill me. He is useful to me, though. So I don't think he's totally uncontrollable. Okay, this is Helga next. Skittish Seer. So very cute. Can help me get more animals, maybe? Like, she's going to bring stuff back. She's going to enrich my life. She is going to grow infinitely. So she's kind of like a crocodile or a turtle, where as long as I keep feeding her, she's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. I think that's easy, yes. The frogs are doing good. Looks very polite, very demure, very mindful, infinite potential, is going to strictly enrich my life. I'm down with that, yeah. All right, then we have the Crash Out Mouse. Okay, she powers up other mice. and just has a sword all the time. That's honestly a little tough. So I think immediately we have to be very concerned about her having any children, because she's going to lead a mouse proletariat uprising. Not going to be a noise problem. Probably easy to clean. Can definitely murder my enemies. Probably handing out pamphlets about Glorious Revolution to my guests. I think is going to shit on my floor to establish dominance, but like won't tell me that it's her. I feel like she's got too big of an ego. Like heir to Cragflame, she's royalty, bro. She's not taking... I feel like this is... Why are you worried about revolution, comrade? I'm worried about her being like the human who's adopted me. If she just wants to crash out on CEOs, up here. Like if me and all the mice she converts are just crashing out on all of capitalism, I will adopt, clone upon death. Oh, she's just heir to the sword wielding, not a full kingdom. Okay, so she's just a loving mother who has a bitching sword. Yeah, adopted forever. Next, we have another raccoon who's going to try to fuck my life up. Trash Tactician. That name is not doing this thing any favors. At the beginning of each main phase, I'll say this is also zoomy adjacent. The more stuff it does, the more stuff it can do. I'll interpret that as like, this is a pet that likes projects. Like it's going to disappear for days at a time, and then I'm going to find like entire sections of wall are missing and have been pulled into the garage to construct a new raccoon home. I kind of feel like this is the best top manners. Like I think this would have to be a pet that you stayed on top of. Because if you ever, I mean the motherfucker made himself Wolverine claws. I think if you were not on top of this thing, your home's foundation would crack within the month. I don't think this one fully needs a separate wing, because this is also very related to how many other raccoons are around and how amped up am I getting the raccoon. And so as long as like I stayed chill and gave this thing a reasonable amount of enrichment and let it socialize a limited amount with other raccoons, he'd be fine. So I would just have to be responsible. Guys, come on. Everyone be real. We don't need to talk about the ferrets. It's a stinky weasel that's going to stab my enemies and then summon Cthulhu. I think, listen, we're going to give him a chance. This is one where, like, we have to know more about the weasel's personality. Because if he's just Robin Hood, I can rock with that. He can murder our enemies extremely well, but there is he has access to fucking chaos magic, you guys. This is like the most problematic pet we could possibly have. He's a sociopathic asshole? Okay, no. No, bro. In the story, he's a bastard who does whatever to the highest bidder. Yeah, get this thing away from me. There's certain personalities we could make work with that, not the one that he has. Zinnia, Valley's voice. This Offspring 2 thing is gonna be very rough. He looks very cute. I will not be getting pregnant because of the bird plink, and I curse you for making me say that sentence. The noise is definitely going to be an issue. Oh, Offspring's technically a May. Okay. So yeah, this would have to be my only pet, and it would yell all the time. I think just on the basis of how loud it's going to be as a bird that also owns a lute, it has to go into a separate wing, but it's going to be better than Bello. Like, even with earplug, birds can't control when they poop. Okay, we're going to move. He's going below Bello then. The inability to control its own bowel functions is going to put it below Bello, but above its moistness. Okay, then we have a bat, which I believe that's Zoraline. Okay, it wants a bat army. This is a bat that has access to resurrection magics, right? Like, cute bat function here is overtaking literally everything else. I would need to get vaccinated, but it can literally bring other shit to life. She has to drain you for it. I mean, that's fine. Is my mana cost 3 or less? Probably. I like to imagine that I'm an X cost, but the X cost in real life is me scaling with how much caffeine I have. She's just an EP baby. Yeah, she's going in the top, but she's third. I just love Gev so much. Okay, next we have Beza. I think this is probably like a mostly outdoor animal, and I don't even mean that in terms of keeping it away from me, but since it's literally a fucking plant elk, I feel like this is, I get a garden, it's allowed to come in the house whenever it wants, it doesn't want to come in the house very often. It's powered by my envy. If other people are wealthier than me, I get money. If other people are healthier than me, I get health. If other people have more fish than me, I get fish. I will cook them for dinner. That's easy. That's easy. I think that's top of treats on demand. Like, this elk could just walk into my kitchen whenever, and I'm handing it whatever it wants. Okay, then we have another otter. So we have prowess, which means zoomies. It gives everything else the zoomies. I do not know what the equivalent of casting non-creature spells are, but it's also making something unblockable is like, it's slippery. I think that's tough, but like, it's cute. I think that almost puts it in like, it's either top manners or it's separate wing of the house, in the sense of like, not even a wing, but there's just a part of the house that I accept is totally destroyed and is never recoverable. I do think it's better than Glarb. Oh, give it a pool. Yeah, let her live outside in a pool. Yeah, I think live outside in a pool, but it's probably easier to put up with what Zinnia is doing than what Bree is doing. Is going to be a nightmare for guests. It's going to just like rampage through any barbecues I have. What's next? Giant elemental fish. Can we be for real? I'll be honest, the first couple times I saw this card, I thought that this little boat thing was like the head of the fish. I didn't even notice this shit in the back. Hell no. It can kill my enemies, yes, and it can also kill me. Next we got Hazel. Now she looks very cute. Everybody's going to want to take pictures with her. Everybody's going to want to pet her, which that's awesome. We love that. Pay 2 life, make me mana, end step, copy a token. I think that's an infinite money glitch. If I get to control the trigger, now if she starts picking squirrels, we're fucked. But this is also an infinite money glitch. I think that's top manners, but I think that's like peak top manners. The only manner I have to teach her is I just have to I have to be very on top of her reproductive cycle, and I have to prevent her from ever copying squirrel children. And as long as I do that, I basically get to print Bitcoin. Okay, and then I have Hugs the massive badger, who is actively smashing something to bits. Has trample. Most of his scars tell tales, a few tell jokes. I think this problem is like, he's such a good boy. That's straight up not true. This animal is going to kill me. Everybody's saying this is such a good boy. You are the people who adopt tigers and then get killed by tigers. As much as I want to be a like treats on demand pet with this guy, like he's just going to kill me. Hugs canonically is just a friendly guy. He loves spending time with kids. Okay, if he's a gentle giant, then we can go to treats on demand. So he accidentally crushes things. Miss Bumbleflower. So she's giving other people shit. But if she gives... So this is like... She's helping the homies and she's helping us. She's great around guests. She's baking cookies. She's giving cookies to our guests. Giving cookies to us. What do you mean the bunny's evil, Debo? She's also a gossip. That's fine. I'm a fucking yapper. That just means she can co-stream with me. Easy. I think even beats Mabel. Okay, then we have some fucked up looking rat guy. Vren the Relentless. And he has a cute little cleaver. Look at that. If a creature an opponent controls would die, exile it instead. So he's like obliterating the souls of my dead opponents. But he's going to reproduce en masse. I feel like as long as I stay on the right side of this, I'm good, which puts him into top manners, but I actually am going to put him up here. He's got drip. He's obviously driven. Like, I need my pet to have a grind set that matches mine. And he can help me fuck with my opponents. He's the rat that makes all of the rules. Perfect. Okay, then we have Wick the World Mine. I'm gonna keep it real. Him having a emotional support snail everywhere he goes and then flinging that snail at me regularly is not the coolest shit. Shut the fuck up, bonus pet, Doodles. He's throwing it at us. He is ritually sacrificing the bonus pet. And I also can't let him be around any other rats. Do you know how hard it is to keep one rat away from other rats? I had mice once as a kid. I went from having 2 to having 50 to having to kill all of them. No. Get this thing away. It's not as bad as Cruelclaw or a Luge, but it's bad. I mean, Elvaro, we can control Vren's infinite rats by just not letting him kill people. Like, this is just, you can't show Vren gore videos, which is not difficult for me to avoid. Okay, then we have Alania. So she's going to double my stuff. I definitely can't let her around other otters because she's going to clone them. But this also seems like a type of infinite money hack, and she does look how sturdy she looks, guys. Look at how wide her stance is. This is cute as shit. I think this one's going up with the S's. I think this beats Mabel. I think this beats Bumbleflower. I even like this over Zoraline. I think this is the same type, like potential infinite money glitch, but she's stunting hard. She has a dance routine ready for whenever guests come over, versus Zoraline is just EP. I went to go grab some McDonald's and it was on fire. What a day. See, that's what happens when you let Cruelclaw into your life. Somebody adopted Cruelclaw near your local McDonald's. So next we have the Dragonhawk. Legendary bird dragon. It does murder my ops. And it does, I'm not sure what exiling cards would be. I presume it's like giving me temporary offerings that it takes back. Dragonhawk Twa, Marley, go to therapy. I think this is like separate wing of the house, but they just get a roost. Like this is not separate wing of the house because I don't want to be near them. I think this is separate wing of the house because I literally cannot contain them. Wouldn't it also reduce your house to rubble in a storm though? That's a fair point. Insurance money. Because this is a storm, I would just get really good house insurance and I would just say act of God. And I just wouldn't tell them that this was technically my pet. I would be like, yeah, crazy shit happened, bro. A dragon bird came down, summoned a tornado, blew my house up. I have to move a lot. Infinite money hack though. Like it doesn't live in the house with me, obviously, but good times, good times. Then we have some other bird I don't recognize. Castrol, the wind crested. Whenever one or more birds hit a bitch, it can bring a bird literally back from the dead, bring me back an offering, or teach all of the other birds to work out. I feel like that's a clear manners. Clear manners. Like this is fine as long as I don't let them fall in with any bird gangs. Oh right, no bowel control with birds. I just gotta put a diaper on him. And I can't let him crash out. Now, as an ass man, can I really say that I would rid the world of butts? That's honestly the heart of the contention for me. Obviously, it's my opponent's control, so it's not going to impact me negatively. But do I want the standard of the world to be a long back? We're going to make another non-gameplay allegory here. Since it says opponent's control, it doesn't say all other creatures. I'm going to say my IRL allies would be able to maintain their ass. This is only the ass of those who oppose me, which that's S tier. That's amazing. My enemies exclusively have long backs. All my goons keep their butts. Every neutral party in the world keeps their butts. But this is like... This is how you know if you don't fuck with Maulhound, is you have inverse butt. Brother, if you get it angry, you're screwed? Yeah, well, too bad animals love me. What do you mean? All right, this one's a little bit of a harder sell, I'll be honest. I saw Eater of All. It's not great. It's not great. It is kitty. That's the thing. It's friend-shaped, and I love cats. I can't help but notice the animals running for their lives. Everything else is food to this thing. Goth Garfield. That's the ocelot on the extra wing sold to Icy 11. I agree with this. This is the ocelot from Archer. I just open a gate whenever I want to let this thing out to kill all my enemies, and I have one wing of the house I push all my ops into. All right, then we're back to cute bunnies now. Byrk, long ear of the law. He's a fucking cop. Moving on. We have a bear. Lumra. Alright, we have giant bear that is bigger or smaller commiserate to the amount of land I own. Hot tech for Lumra. I rent. This guy is like a fucking pocket dog. This is a like teacup poodle. Cause he's only as big as the lands I control, which currently 0. If I lose my home, he just fucking dies. That sounds like I have a grind set. That sounds like I just have a reason to keep my money up. I'm putting him above Maha. Dude, Pocket Bear? Come on. Okay, then we have Marigold. What the fuck is she riding, though? Like, that looks like a bunch of twigs. Why? How is that animated? Mouse folk just do that. That's not true. Okay, he's a knight. If I let him play with any other pets, he immediately summons a new pet. So I'm going to interpret that as like, anytime Arthur gets active, every pet in the neighborhood shows up. Which is a little worrisome, but it is also a mouse. They bring their friends over without telling you and gets mad if you tell them to get out. I don't think they get mad because it bounces to hand at end of combat, so I feel like this is bring their friends over without telling me, but then when I put my foot down, everybody leaves. Because they do go home. They don't just stay. Winota gets mad when you tell people to leave. I don't know if he's riding anything. He's just doing a cool slide in my eyes. Synapse, get your eyes checked, brother. I think that's treats on demand. I generally like petting dry things more than I like petting most wet things. Most. So I'm going to put the mouse above the frog. Can we all be for real? Listen, it's a dog. It's friend-shaped. It's on fire. It's on fire and has trample, which I'm going to interpret that as like dog gates don't work. It's just an on fire wolf. Trample means it jumps on you. I think this is like the clearest. I love him. I cannot let him near me. Oh, but the dragon is fine. I think that puts it in, because like I want to be around this. I want to be around this. He's so cute. I just want to give him tummy scritches, but like also I die. Okay, and then I have a group of squirrel murderers. Oh, it's fire incarnate. I guess I'll just cover my home in asbestos. It worked for the 50s. There's been literally no problems because of that. So like, what are we talking about? Difficult to control. Will jump me. Will get into my cupboards. Will convince other squirrels to jump me. Will bring me back offerings. That's very negative. However, these are literally goons. I do not know that I can pass up the opportunity to literally have a group of squirrel goons willing to go to war with me. They're literally the goons. So I think that, honestly, that's like up here. I'm debating between them and Gev right now. Next we have, this is the George Clooney fox. This is just George Clooney. He got the stance. He does have the fucking stance. This seems kind of like Robin Hood to me. Because when he crashes out, we're getting stuff. Always. I'm rocking with this guy heavy. I'm not going to clone him because like he's definitely a bastard. He's here for a good time, not a long time. All right, so these are the final tiers. The neighbor gets a new BMW, us too. Yeah, he's picking up the keys for us.